These are the 25 best mixed reality games that you have to try on your Quest 3 and Quest 3S. So let's dive right into it. And on number 1, we have Infinite Inside. Now this is a puzzle game that kind of blends VR and mixed reality gameplay all into one immersive and narrative-driven story. And in it, you'll go to 5 different labyrinths where you'll be using the Quest hand tracking feature to solve all the riddles and puzzles, making this kind of feel like an upgrade to an escape room. And on number 2, we have Synth Riders. And this is a rhythm-based experience that will have you hit floating balls on the beats of some awesome tunes. And while kind of similar to something like Beat Saber, in here, you'll be burning quite a lot more calories since you will be moving all over the place. But that also gets us to number 3, and that is Star Wars Beyond Victory. Now compared to all the other Star Wars VR games we've gotten so far, in here, the gameplay is split up into many different modes. And those can go from full-on pod racing to an actual playset mode that lets you set up these 3D models in your own living room. So either way, if you love Star Wars, then this one is definitely for you. And on number 4, we got Home Invasion. And this is actually the standalone version of the full game known as Drop Dead the Cabin. But this one will focus instead on its mixed reality stuff. Just keep in mind though, that while playing the zombie wave shooter, you should be careful for your surroundings while doing so. And next up, we got All on Board. Now in this one, you will find a big library of some of the most famous board games that are out there, but which are now completely playable in virtual reality. And don't worry, even if you don't know how to play a certain board game, then there's also an integrated learning hub with a bunch of guides for you to dive into. Or, if you forget how a piece works, then you can simply use something like the Smart Lens feature to learn more about the component that you are looking at directly. And of course, there are also a bunch of extra licensed games that are locked behind some DLC in case you want more. But by far the best part of it is that you can play these games with your friends or even host your own game night with people across the world, since this one is actually cross-platform. And also don't forget that you will find all these games and some big discounts for them down in the description of this video. Either way, I am really looking forward to see where the developers take this one in the future. But moving on, we have number 6, known as Laser Dance. And this simple yet addictive concept will make you feel like James Bond himself. Because in here, you will have to dodge the incoming lasers, while also trying to touch the button on the other side before getting caught. However, each level gets progressively more difficult, making it quite a big challenge in the end. And on number 7 is Miracle Pool. Now just like the name already implies, this is pool, but then a mixed reality. Although, the cool thing is that besides just playing by yourself, you can also challenge your friends for a match in here, or just brush up on your own skills in its practice mode. And talking about improving, we have number 8, which is Pencil Learn to Draw. Because in here, you'll be going to lots of different lessons that each teach you step by step on how to draw properly. But on top of that, they also have a free draw mode with 3D models, as well as an image overlay function. So no matter how good or bad your skills are in drawing, this one can help you out quite a lot. And on number 9, we have Battlemarked, which is made by the developers behind Demio, as well as Dungeons & Dragons. And that makes this also the first official D&D VR game that you can play. And if you've already tried the original Demio, then this is basically more of the same, but now with a full-on campaign added to it. And on number 10 is Smash Drums. Now just imagine a Guitar Hero drum set, and then you basically have Smash Drums. Because here, you'll be hitting your targets on a bunch of the included rock songs, while the difficulty itself can go from easy to absolute insane. So if you maybe afterwards want something more calm, then we also have number 11, which is Lego Bricktales. And this cute diorama builder will really bring your Lego creations to life. And in here, you can also try out a bunch of designs and see which ones work best by solving the physics-based puzzles. But you can also just build your own custom stuff if you want to. And at number 12 is 11 Table Tennis. And yes, this is just basically ping pong in VR, but then also with the possibility to play against people from across the world. So no matter how good or bad you are, you can always test out your skills either here in ranked matches or just against some simple bots. And next up, we got number 13, and that is Tribe XR. Now also known as the DJ simulator on Quest. With Tribe XR, you can mix and play all your own songs on some of the most awesome hardware decks out there. But the coolest part of it is that they even got some classes for you to follow if you are completely new to the DJ scene. And on number 14 is Broken Edge. And probably the first thing that you'll notice is its special watercolor art style. But next to its looks, it is also a true 1v1 dueler that will have you choose from its many different classes that each have their own unique abilities and skills. So while this one will be easy to pick up, it can be pretty hard to master. And number 15 is Cubism. Now this is a much more laid-back experience where you will simply have to fit the blocks into its designated shape while also filling out the entire space. But don't think that this is a walk in the park though, because while it might start off easy, some of these can get pretty tricky. However, before we get to the next 10 must-have mixed reality games, let's first have a quick word from the company that made this video possible. Because none other than Cat VR, who are known for creating VR treadmills that look like they come straight out of Ready Player One, are once again taking virtual reality to the next level. Because while we are normally limited by the boundary system inside our VR experiences, it is Cat VR that has created these VR treadmills that let you run and jump without any limitation. And since their most recent version, which is known as the C2 Plus Enhanced, is compatible with every VR headset that you can think of, it is also often considered as the dream upgrade for any VR user. And they even go so far that it has things like haptic feedback built into it, as well as a vehicle hub, which will make it feel even more realistic when you're racing on a track or flying through the sky. And as a cherry on top, you can also use the code VRelity for a whopping $130 off on your entire purchase. So for those who are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. And that gets us to number 16, which is spatial ops. And with this one, you can turn your own living room into a full-on battlefield. With the cool thing is that you will actually have to use your own environment and furniture to even be able to dodge the incoming fire. But if you're looking for something more creative, then there is also number 17, known as Figment XR. Because this will let you create nearly anything that you can think of. And that can go from 3D moving objects to entire games and everything in between. So if you always wanted to create something in mixed reality, then this one will let you do exactly that. And on number 18, we got Angry Birds VR, The Isle of Pigs. And yes, this is that classic game of Angry Birds, but then brought over to virtual reality. And it also means that you will need to rely on your accuracy skills much more in this version. And a cool extra is that once you finish all the levels, you can also choose to build your own ones or even try out those that other users created. And at number 19, we got Puzzling Places. And this is one of those really satisfying titles that will have you recreate some real-life locations by just snapping together the puzzle pieces in front of you. And with some of its nice vibes and relaxing music, it can be a great option if you just want to wind down a bit. But if you want some more action, then we got number 20, which is Aspire MR Missions. Since this one will turn your own house into a full-on stealth action game that can make use of spatial tracking across multiple rooms. And it even has some crazy features, such as being able to interrogate your enemies by using your own voice, and some other cool secrets that you have to discover yourself. And at number 21 is Gravity Sketch. And while this is another 3D creation tool, this one is actually completely free. Although, while it is good to keep in mind that this one is a bit more focused on professional use cases, it is still a great title to have, since it won't cost you anything. But moving on to number 22 is Last Stand. Now, besides just taking down zombies, like you can do in many other VR games already, in here, you will also be fighting against your real-life opponents at the same time. So that means that this will combine both of your mixed reality modes for this, even though you might be in complete different locations. But that gets us to number 23, and that is Cosmic XR. And this is a real hidden gem, and also one of the most underrated experiences on the Quest store. Because this will let you see the entire universe in pass-through, while also giving you lots of cool facts about the planets and stars itself. And on number 24 is PianoVision. Now, if you always wanted to play the piano, but just couldn't afford it because of the expensive classes, then PianoVision might be a great alternative. Because with it, you can quickly learn some of the most famous songs, either on a real-life keyboard, or even on any flat surface that you have at home. But that gets us to number 25, which is Triangle Strategy. And this is the full-on tactical RPG from Square Enix ported over into mixed reality. But then, it is also remade completely so that you can now see the battlefield in 360 degrees, which kind of makes that overall HD 2D art style pop even harder on screen. But that is not all, because there are also a lot of awesome Quest 3 apps that you need to have. So click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, stay awesome.